Okay, Arash, excellent class today. I think we definitely broke ground as far as your playing style. The playing style was terrific. You got the Autumn Leaves song, perfect. It was really good. Everything that the way that you played it, the style, letting the chords ring out, that was really good. Um, but I really what was noticeable, the noticeable change was in the way that you were playing the melody and the solos, more specifically the solos, when you were just kind of using the notes as a beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I just hit some chromatics in there like that. So doing it that way, it kind of if you get like a writer's block or a creative block, and you can't um, get anything new in your head as far as like ideas of things to play. If you do that, and you just look at different patterns on the neck of your guitar, and you just kind of you're gonna what you're gonna do is you're gonna kind of buy time, but in an organized kind of a way where it's still melodic. It still melodically makes sense. All right, so you could still be hitting random notes in this in the key, right? But what's going on is you're keeping order to what you're playing while you try to think of a new kind of creative element to add to your solo. If you should you not come up with a melody, I'm sorry, if should you not come up with um, more ideas, you can just continue to do that, play certain patterns to the beat, so right. So I wasn't really trying to come up with anything, but what I was doing is I was like looking at that fretboard through the screen there, and I was able to come up with different patterns. See, when you're playing the patterns, what's going on is the tones are kind of you're absorbing the tones internally, right? Auditory, you're taking that in, and as you approach each fret, um, you're kind of you're kind of giving yourself ideas subconsciously. And so when you play each note and or the patterns, you're getting used to those notes, and you the the creative element is already playing out, because what you're doing is for each note there's got to be another note, another sequence of notes. So when you play the patterns, you're kind of going through a process of um, what makes sense, um, by just kind of looking and listening, right? It's very similar to actually doing something creative, like having ideas in your head and doing them. It's kind of in between, because sometimes when we have ideas and we're trying to bring the ideas to the guitar neck, what happens is not all the tones are the same as what you or I plan to play. So when that happens, we sometimes will stop, or we might get a little flustered when we're playing. This method will help you to organize your thoughts and your approach to the notes that you play. So when you're actually creating and you have ideas in your head, you'll very comfortably go into those ideas. You'll also comfortably go into those ideas knowing that, okay, the exact notes that I plan to play in my head, not all of them will come out clean, when I'm playing it. Just simultaneously, what will happen is the ideas that you come into your head when you express them on your guitar, they'll come out. They'll probably come out more organized than they were when they were in your head. All right. And when you do that, you'll be able to add things to it. Eventually, when you add things to it, you'll really come out with what was exactly in your head. And then, because you'll feel more confident, you'll be covering more notes and things like that. It's a pretty tough concept to kind of explain, but what I want you to do for now is to play around with the order of those patterns, right? And just kind of melodically go into it. You just play around with it. All right. So play around with those ideas. Also, the minor seventh formation on your guitar neck. All right. So the other way of doing the minor sevenths, usually what you'll do, because the neck of my guitar is so wide, put the pinky on the first three strings, put the ring finger on the fourth string, and then you just put the middle finger on the sixth string. Do that, right? But doing it this way is a lot easier because you're doing the same kind of thing. You're doing the sixth string, your root, and you're picking up on the first four strings, just not hitting your fifth string. Sorry. All right, and that's all you're going to do. All right, so there's two ways of doing that, depending on the types of positioning for other chords. Because you may have, and then you may have, and then you something like that. Other than if you go, and then you go into that, it might be easier because you already have your fingers in a certain spot, right? Okay, so then there's that. All right, so practice those two things back to back. Autumn Leaves, also, we didn't go into the diminished scales for certain chord patterns, like the chord pattern we did with the minor sevenths were that one. It would have been nice to kind of go into like a I think we might have done it, but if you get a chance, work on the diminished and the whole tone scale for some of these jazz progressions, right? The one that I did with the G minor seventh into the A minor seventh, that might not go well with the A diminished. Okay, you may have to use for like a G diminished. You may have to use that because it's in G minor. So, all right. Yeah, and that's the other point too. If the song is in a minor, if it starts like, okay, G minor 7, you don't have to worry about figuring out what pentatonic to use because it's going to be a G pentatonic. All right. A minor 7th or A minor will be the A pentatonic that you would use. All right, because it's interchangeable with the natural minor and so on, the harmonic minor, blah, 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 blah. All right. So if you have any questions, please feel free to drop a line or leave a comment below. All right, so thank you very much, Arash. I will see you on Tuesday. All right, have a good one. God bless.